come up currently. We'll see if they can, close this one out and obviously face against Luminosity in the grand finals here at UMG South Carolina. I have to admit, throughout the entire event so far, I've really enjoyed being here. The sponsors have been absolutely fantastic. You have Jerky XP, Scuff, BenQ, so many amazing sponsors. Astro as well, have been able to kind of support this event, and it's always been a fantastic, time. But you can kind of see the trophies there, as those are what everyone is on the line. This is what it was on the line, as these players definitely want to have at least those trophies and kind of be known as UMG SC champions, as those are very pretty. I wish I had one. I wish I could have that.
I'm not too sure. I think that's the first time we've seen like the individual trophies being given out as well. I remember always like the big one to kind of like capitalize on. But either way, picking bans, everything's straightforward. Once again, Shiva after you can read. You guys are aware of this, but again, you see Rise is continuing to attack Fizzerb just because the one time the Shiva was allowed, well, they're able to win that on S&D, so they waste absolutely no time. And then of course the flashbang and concussions are probably going to be taken down by Rise as well.
Yeah, you're also going to see Overkill taken off the map there. So looks like Fizzerb are going to go ahead and go for that. That's kind of interesting. Maybe they really just don't want to force their hand against Octane. That SVG though is still going to be on the board unless we do see Lacefield go for it. But no, he's going to go and get rid of Kinetic Armor. And I was kind of talking about that last game. He really wasn't using that specialist. That's more what he kind of prefers. So that could be maybe a counterban against Classic, who in his own regard enjoys rocking that Kinetic Armor. So obviously we are now in the overall specialist draft, and we'll see which obviously these specialists these guys decide to go for. Most likely going to see 4 abilities, as usual.
And I'm kind of curious as well, because Luminosity right now is just kind of hanging out, waiting in the shadows, so to speak, just watching this match. I'd have to imagine. And I'm kind of curious whether or not they'd be taking notes. We see all the time the first things Rise do, or one thing they've done every single time, get rid of flashbang, get rid of concussion. So if this is the final matchup that we're going to see, are they going to attack that? Or if H2k makes the massive comeback, do they continue the trend of banning the Shiva right away to attack Fizzerb? So just things to think about way down the line in, like an hour or so, whenever that may potentially be happening. But everything, again, pretty much straightforward. The Vision Pulse and S&D is a little bit interesting, but you can see Octane, both Fizzerb and Octane are rocking it. But still, on the side of Rise, it's going to be 4 abilities, and, well, on the flip side, also 4 abilities.
Yeah, I think Octane actually, did he go for Psychosis in that first Search and Destroy? Is that right? Do you know by chance?
Yes, he did.
He did?
There were 2 Psychoses, one from each side.
That's interesting. So he decides to go for Vision Pulse. Obviously the map can make a major difference, and you got to keep in mind as well the Overdrive going to be in use for Slacked as well. Kinetic Armor is more of his major specialist, so obviously in unison of that happening, he's going to go over for Overdrive. So obviously this could be this is match point, for Rise Nation. This could be the game that decides it all. H2k obviously winning that first Search and Destroy 6-3. So if there was a game type that does, opt out to be in their favor, this is the one to do it, and this is the time to do it, without a doubt. So obviously, as these players are going to create a class, now is the time where I ask you your opinion on how you think this match is going to go. You don't have to give me an overall round score. I don't expect that. If you do, I will grant you as a great Call of Duty caster, just in general, if you are able to knock down the exact score. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just who do you think is going to walk away with this one?
6-4 Rise. I want H2k to win this. I want the matches to continue on. I want a even better series on our hand. But at the same time, every single map we've seen, or at least like the past 3 maps, H2k is just making many different kinds of mistakes. Team kills coming in S&D. We're seeing, people bumping into each other, falling off the map with teammates. A lot of things are not going well for them. And then even when there's not tiny mistakes like that, you're seeing players that are, 8-21, stuff like that is happening.
True.
So I would like for H2k to come back as a full 4 and perform well, but I do think Rise definitely has the edge.
Right. We'll see if that kind of works out. Can H2k kind of limit the mistakes and overall have the game and bring this one back? That's going to be the main question, the main topic as it currently stands. The score streaks are currently being edited, and you're going to see the shots coming in out of both rosters right now. Rise Nation seem to be pretty confident in how they are. Now, H2k, this is their ability to possibly clutch this one up. Evac is going to be the map, and Search and Destroy is obviously going to be the game type. Game 5, getting ready to come up here as these 2 Titans are going to clash, and, as the semifinals kind of move on, this could be the final game of the series.
God, those 2 Titans clash, like how many people would be predicting this again? Just the insanity that has been UMG South Carolina. It earned it as well. Like very impressive runs by pretty much all these teams. I think the only team that, again, you would expect to be here is Rise. And, of course, they're even doing that in weird fashion when they're going against DT. Close games, then the blowout. Nothing is predictable, but I gave my prediction, 6-4 Rise. What do you have, Landon? Show off the knowledge.
This game, I'm going to say Rise 6-2. You can kind of, I guess throw out something if you want to, but Fizzer's actually going to have the sniper off at the start, for getting a little bit distracted. But no, I'm going to say 62 Rise. I think Rise is definitely kind of preferred. It's in Search and Destroy just in general. I think H2k is a fantastic Search and Destroy team, but off the break, I do think Rise is going to have the advantage. And look here off the start here, Looney going to be going on a little bit of a wall run as he's going to have an opportunity to possibly find one player. That sniper rifle not going to come out from Fizzer as the first blood going in favor of Rise Nation. They're on the flank possibly as a couple players getting ready to fall off the map, but now Fears is left in a 1v2 situation. His teammate's doing a little bit of damage, but not enough, as he's going to be in a little bit of a tall order type of situation right now.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't catch it from that player's perspective, but that's just poor coverage by H2k, right?
Yeah.
Like Fizzerp is there, you see Looney jumps up, he's getting shot in the side, but still he's able to get the kill before he gets dropped. These are the types of things that are going to have to be fine-tuned incredibly quickly for H2k to be able to pull away with this victory. So you see the 1v2 now, Looney, they both posted up in the very back of the map. They just completely read Fears in that situation. Pretty easy kill in there, but still, Rise up, 1 round and done, trying to continue the momentum carrying over from that CTF.
Yeah, and if you're Fizzerp in that situation as well, I mean, if you have a sniper, the wall runs are definitely going to be very evident when it comes to this map. You're going to see constant wall runs, even flanks that can form. I mean, I think you could run around the entire map of eVank just wall running. So you got to keep that in mind. You have to be watching out for those as H2k. Kind of having a little bit of mistakes here off the break as this first round does go underway. But Rise Nation now going to be on the offensive. We're actually going to see a 4-man push here toward middle. Looney on that wall run as he might make his way possibly here over to B, as he's going to have one player that's spotted through big doors as they're going to back up and know exactly where this push possibly might be coming. But no, they're going to go and reference back and go over here toward A, as there's a couple of the H2k players waiting on this.
Well, you see Looney is over there tossing nades, and I do appreciate the decision of him getting the bomb. That way, if he gets this down, he is going to get that HC car. So we are going to see how H2k responds to that. You see Legal was able to pick up the first blood. However, Rise was able to get the bomb down, and it looks like Looney is going to get taken down. Legal has picked up 2 this round. So, always the potential for the ace, but still 4v2, 34 seconds left.
And 2v4 situation, Legal over to find some shots away. Now Octane left in a 1v3 situation, so a little bit of a different type of round call for this one as Legal storms through the glass and realizes that that player has just been found out. Lacefield cleaning up Octane, and that's going to be the defuse coming in for H2k. Legal he will be getting his streaks after this bomb defusal. He's going to have the HCXD cart in hand, which can obviously provide a lot of kills and a lot of knowledge when these next rounds start to come up.
So very nice play as well. A little tiny bit of sloppiness, you could argue, in that first round, but pretty much perfect defensive play. They were spread across the map, but as soon as they got the first kill, they allowed the bomb to get planted, and we saw them do it on Hunted. Then they make their swarm, and they push together. We saw Classic was able to pick up 1 kill laying on the ground, but both players challenged consecutively. One was 50 feet in the air. Not 50 feet, it's not advanced warfare, but 15 feet in the air, and the other was on the ground just to make it impossible for that player to be able to pick up the 2-piece.
Exactly, and we'll see actually Looney on that wall run as he's going to be heading his way in toward pillars, and he's getting ready to meet the likelihood of these H2k guys. Big kills are going to be very, very important, especially that first blood, especially if H2k wants to get that bomb down. Looney ready when he realizes that glass has been broken, most likely going to call it to his teammates, hey guys, they're over at B, and we could possibly see a pinch come in. We see 4 players from H2k possibly lined up. Looney able to knock down 1. He can't find the second though as H2k. Fizzerp is able to shut him down. Now Fears up top, having his teammates do a little bit of work as he's able to possibly trade that one. Thank God he does, as he shuts down Octane. Now it's going to be a 2v2. Fizzerp now with the bomb, and Classic and Slack left to do a little bit of the work. Now it's 1v1, make it, or excuse me, 1v2, 1v1 now. Fears left against, excuse me, I can't even talk right now, against Slacked.
Well, Slacked is just going to be going the sneaky beaver out while running underneath, and he just got amazing timing. He picked up the bomb, and you heard that, and he's going to be able to shoot the player in the back. So Slacked making a very nice read on that player, and again, Rise performing well. That was the situation. Looney had 4 players surrounding him, and somehow he managed to stay not only alive long enough for his teammates to rotate over, but he's also able to pick up a kill to stop all the momentum that H2k was trying to progress with.
Absolutely, and that's going to be 2 rounds for Rise here. As this is a fantastic start for the guys, obviously. They will now be on that offensive side, and we'll see which bombs that they decide to push toward as well. Those wall runs could come into effect, and that HGXD car could possibly come into for Looney. As he guys kind of tempts us there with the Vesper, like, nope, not going to go over this one as of yet. But looks like we're going to see an aggressive push here out of Classic, as he does have that bomb down. The HGXD car going to provide a little bit of knowledge as Fizzerp finds the first blood and decides to back up.
Hey, yeah, I was about to say all 3 players from H2k, just turn around and sprinted back into their base to try and avoid this. You can see, though, that bomb is going to be down. Actually, just got picked up over by B, and the HC car is going on the hunt. It might spot some players if it pushes over back into spawn, but again, H2k playing this one safe, and I believe Slack.
I wonder if they backed up because they don't have EMPs. I wonder, because if you obviously use that EMP, that can kind of take out the HGXD car. But but it is providing a lot of knowledge, and now H2k is left to kind of force their way forward. The HDXD car has been destroyed, at least taken off the map in general. Now Fizzerp has to force his will. MR6 in hand. Can he find the kill? And he's going to find that one. That's now going to be left in a 2v2 situation as Looney and Octane doing the work, and now H2k players falling like flies, and now Fizzerp, Fear is now left in a 1v2 situation. One player just above him. I believe he doesn't spot where exactly this player is. This is going to be a little bit of a difficult situation right now for Fears. 1v2, Octane and Looney just kind of playing with him.
Yeah, and they know exactly where he is. He is not going to have enough time. He's actually able to pick up one kill, comes out and challenges. Octane is able to win that gunfight as he did leave that player one shot. And Rise going to come out to a cool 3-1 lead. And again, that HC car, it didn't necessarily win them the round, but they go down in main advantage. But the HC car forced H2k so far back in their base, and no EMPs, probably no flak jacket either. They just didn't have enough time to work with, and eventually Rise was able to hold on.
Yep, and self-awareness of those streaks coming in, and as well as those specialist abilities, going to be big for the side of H2k. As now Rise is looking to be pretty stacked as we do head into this round. Excuse me, round number 5. So we're going to see a 2-man split possibly for H2k. Fizzerp has said to put that sniper away, and obviously on offense it's not going to be that useful, but those pre-snipes as well as those first bloods going to come in very, very big as we do see those trophies lined out. And now Rise Nation on the opposite bomb site might see that rotation, maybe even that flank come in from them.
Well, they're slowly creeping up towards B. Meanwhile, Rise is completely, getting all the map control, clearing out the A side, and they're going to be going on the flank shortly. And again, this situation where there's one defensive player for Rise over by this bomb site, and H2k is just taking so much time. And Rise, of course, is going to be in a good situation. Even if that bomb is planted, they can just swarm on it. Fizzerp, though, going to be able to take Looney down despite the fact that the heat wave came in, and that is, of course, again, going to give the man advantage to H2k.
Yeah, no, with Fizzerp destroying those trophies, he's going to get closer to his streaks, but it's also going to allow Rise Nation to know exactly where they are in their current position. As Fear's able to drop one, but there's a couple players up top, and now there's going to be 2 players left for Rise Nation. Now make it 1 player left around now for Rise Nation as Octane throws away that grenade. That one's going to get met by the trophy. Can Octane clutch this one now? He's going to find 1 player off the start here. He's obviously had a good start up to this point. Can he drop another? He does. That's going to be 2 falling. Can he find the 3rd? Octane with 1 player left. The heat wave comes into use, and a great time to use it for Lacefield. That was nearly a 1v3 clutch from Octane, but Lacefield comes in with the heat wave. Such a great ability to use it, and that was the time to use it, especially as he was basically one shot. That's going to blind Octane, and he's going to take the round. That's going to be 2-3 now, still in favor of Rise. Yeah,
got to give props to Lacefield on that. That was way too close for comfort if you're an H2k fan. Of course, that was a situation where I thought Lacefield was just going to get wall banged there as well. But no craziness coming out. The team that got first blood was able to convert in that situation. Those are the things you expect to see. Of course, now Rise on offense are just pushing up mid-map once again. We saw them do this in their very first offensive round. We'll see how this pans out.
Well, indeed, there's going to be 1 player toward those back doors, those back big doors as well. As it looks like Rise Nation kind of pushing everything as a team. I like this play for them just in general, kind of familiarizing themselves with the overall bomb site. The HDXD car is getting ready to be inbound as no players have fallen just yet. All 8 up still currently in the lobby. Octane has that grenade to deal with the HDXD cars. We're going to go for a little bit of a wall ride as he's going to go and use that 3rd-person ability. Will he find anyone? He does know at least 1 player is here. Now these players from H2k have absolutely backed up, and this is going to be a free bomb plant for Rise Nation.
And Octane was able to get the kill. This is a similar situation we saw earlier, except now it's actually Rise with the man advantage. So they have complete control of this B bomb site. Everyone from H2k is simultaneously going to start pushing in from the same side, but I have to imagine, Slack is able to pick up one. The trades are actually coming in. Gunfights are going crazy. Classic is the one pushing for this kill. He's got the player right in front of him, and he's able to finish that off with the 1 bullet to the shin. But Rise,
H2K,
again,
man.
It's the HC cars.
Yeah, that's like literally the only thing. Every time they forced into this bomb site, it's like they pull out the HCXD car, and then H2K are like, oh, we got to get out of here because we don't have. I don't know if they don't have flag check, if they're just not expecting it, or no EMPs. You got to think at least 1 person has got to have an EMP class. I think I saw Legal possibly throw those at the start, so maybe in some cases, got to hold on to those EMPs, especially with how well Rise Nation have done up to this point. Those streaks have got to be coming out, and H2K just not really having a counter for that.
Well, it's do or die time. Rise is just 2 rounds away from ending H2K's tournament run. And again, this is to move on to the grand finals. Gunfight going down. Lacefield struggled early in the respawn. Legal, though, was able to pick up that kill on Slack. Slack, of course, not going to get anything traded because he was completely by himself mid-map. Classic, though, is going to be able to pick up one, and for whatever reason, that kill does not get traded either, so we are going to have a 3v3 situation. Fears, though, with a bomb.
Probably one of the biggest rounds up to this point in the overall series for H2K, as it will be Fears currently with that bomb, kind of tipping himself inside the middle, kind of deciding which bomb set that we want to rotate over toward, as it will be Rise Nation kind of lingering those players over near B. And thankfully enough, H2k have chosen the right bomb set, but there's going to be one player referencing back from Rise Nation, and I'm trying to see who that is. I believe that's actually going to be Octane. So he's put himself in a fantastic position to possibly find a couple of these kills. Now Looney and Classic have realized that this bomb site is getting ready to be met on as Classic ends up falling to Lacefield. And now that bomb's still in the hands of Fears, possibly trying to get this one down very shortly. 30 seconds left to do so.
Yeah, Latesfield's going to have to deal with a player on the flank, and of course Octane is still going to be pushing up the opposite side of the map. And when I say pushing up, I mean backing up. Still 20 seconds left. They are going to have to plant the bomb. It looks like that's going to be going down now. Octane, though, wins his gunfight, and you saw that Looney won his as well. Fears is left alive in a 1v2. He knows exactly where these players are. Picks up one. Looney is actually not challenging. He's just dipping out, and that makes things interesting. They could have easily pinched down Fears in that situation, though. Looney was playing for time, and you see Fears now has a very good opportunity to clutch up the 1v2.
Absolutely. Now Fears going to be left in a 1v1 situation. Looney, going to go and switch on board with him really quickly as he's going to be going through big doors as he has a little bit of time to work with. 30 seconds left before he has to get that defusal in. And Fears kind of sitting pretty up top toward glass, and Looney just trying to make sure he doesn't spot him in any other position. And he's getting ready to possibly encounter what would be Fears, and I believe he spots him. So might actually not have spotted him, so that's going to be a little bit unfortunate as Fears knows exactly where he is. Sees that wall run come in, and can he find the kill? He does. Fantastic job from Fears as he sets him up for that bomb plant. Sits back up top glass and is able to wing that one down. So a great job from H2k as they clutch up this round here yet again.
It's kind of like the team kill earlier when we saw on Hunted S&D. Potentially this could come back to haunt Rise if they allow that 1v2 to get away from him. Now, I guess that's a bit of a weird thing to say since that was almost a 2v3 clutch that they had. But either way, Looney and Octane each won their gunfights. Fears goes and kills Octane, and Looney does not challenge right away. And of course, Fears converts the round. Either way, though, now just a one-round difference between the two teams. It looks like everybody is going to meet up right over by B.
It's a party. We'll see what happens as Fears drops early on, and also Fizzerp doing some work. Classic able to respond at least with one kill, as it will be now a 2 versus 2 situation. Those SMGs from Rise Nation always something to deal with, and now Fears cleans up one. Classic left all by himself, and his party is now turned into just an H2k bonanza as they're able to take the round. That's going to be 4-4. H2k not going down without a fight as they've taken 2 straight rounds, arguably some of the biggest rounds overall for them this entire tournament. As it will be Fears cleaning up that final kill, leveling it up at 4 apiece.
Those are always the most awkward moments when you're playing and you're trying to slide away from the action, and your guy does like the little stutter step, and you do like the half crouch, and then you just die because your character has no incentive to run away. Either way, though, H2k doing a nice job to counter that strat, playing very aggressive on defense over by B, and of course 4-4 as we speak. Fears is having an incredible game, by the way, sitting at 11-6 with the 1v2 clutch in his books, and you see H2k going to be continuing the aggression again. It's going to be Looney on the defensive stand. He's always by himself. The remaining players for Rise always going to back, and this time they push him out. They play aggressive. They can get this bomb down, and they will be in good shape. You see they're taking care of all the trophies. Rise, though, you see what they're doing, sending one player all the way back to the spawn, one player to the enemy spawn, one player coming through the middle. Let's see what happens.
Indeed, as it is going to be a 3v4 situation. H2k, well, obviously with the numbers in their favor. Fizzerp trying to push this one out. Can he find the kill? No, it's not going to happen. Octane able to win the gunfight, but Fears left there for the trade. As it will be Lacefield now trying to reference back. He is able to drop a kill, and that's going to leave Classic now in a 1v3 situation. One player getting ready to be met as he sees one. And he's not able to clean it up. So Lacefield finishing up yet again as H2k have had a fantastic run as far as search and destroys, and it seemed that Rise Nation were possibly on the cusp of winning this game, whereas H2k have clutched up yet again as they are now only one round away from bringing this one back.
Yeah, this is a very nice turnaround H2k is having thus far, and again, it comes back to that haunt. You can't allow players to get in those clutch situations and pull them off. Of course, though, these do still have to close them out, but really, they're going to have to stop Fears. You see, he has the dart, and it looks like he's going to go to the back of the map to use that, or he might be just going for the HC right off the bat. That is going to be the case, and you see there are players set up across H2k, one in mid-map, one over by B, one by A, but Rise, as soon as they hear the HC parts coming in, they're going to be playing a little bit slow, and by playing slow, I mean they're going to be jumping straight into the B-bomb site.
They are indeed in Fears. Actually, I don't believe this HDXT car has been spotted, but it just now does. That getting up close and personal is not going to happen too much, as that bomb has been planted for Rise Nation, as now they can have a little bit of work and possibly could force the round 11. Classic does have the active camo when he does need it, and it looks like H2k are going to kind of group up and decide to do this team push, as we've known them to do that the entire game. Now Looney's going to be near that bomb, possibly spawning one, and he can tag the clear up. Can he find the kill? That was the question. No, he ends up dropping, and that's going to be a 2v4 situation. Legal going to be on the bomb, and now Classic left in an awkward situation. That bomb has been shut down, and now it's going to be a 1v3 for Slacked. Lacefield's going to be on the bomb.
He's going with the overdrive plate. Okay, he gets one, doesn't get the second. H2k is going to be able to get, or no, hold on. I'm an idiot, aren't I?
What?
I'm a complete idiot. He just got the clutch.
He did, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I have no idea what's going on. The overdrive is like perfect. What is that nuts? It's just absolutely nuts.
It's round 11, Chance.
It is round 11.
That's all I know.
We're going to see what happens. He overdrived all the way across the map and gets the kill the final seconds.
Well,
Is there
he just found,
the
player was defusing. It was a 1v3 situation, and all he had to do was just take the player off the bomb, and there wasn't enough time to defuse it. So that's really what happened. Obviously, it's round 11. That's all anyone ever really cares about, as this will come down to the very end of the game. We're going to see who can obviously clutch this one up. It looks like it's going to be Rise Nation on the offensive. Now's the time to use your streaks. Fierce is going to have that dart and also the lightning strike when he decides to use it. As this is going to be a very, very big round. It looks like Rise Nation is going to send a couple players, actually 4 players through middle and force their way over onto A. It looks like no H2k players are going to be kind of anticipating this.
Well, I mean, we're going to see if the streaks have any effect. I'm pretty sure we just saw
Fierce
Fierce ping that lightning strike. But the A-bomb site is completely out in the open. He might be able to pick up some kills. Those players going to push him as well. He is going to lose that gunfight to Looney, and they got the bomb down. The lightning strike only able to take down 1 player.
Indeed, now Octane left in a pretty good position. He's going to try to do his best to defend the bomb. He needs to find this kill. Tags 1 player up, throws out the grenade. Will it do a lot of work? And he is able to take out Fizzerp. So fantastic nade for him. 2v2 situation. Slack left on the flank, and now Slack is left all by himself. The 1 nade. Can he find any kills with this? H2k players rushing on him. Slack needs to stay alive, as that bomb only has a couple seconds left before it does end up blowing up. Slack still in a position, and Legal has to go for that defuse.
Gunfight's going down. Slack knows he's on bomb.
No, it's not going to happen.
That is not going to be the case. Slack is going to fall. Lacefield able to get the kill in H2k. Going to be able to clutch up round 11 in S&D. Got to give a lot of props to Rise, though. I mean, I know they blew their lead, but still, there's a 3v1 situation. Slack uses the overdrive. And this is something that, Revan and I have talked about a bit before, that a lot of teams just use overdrive right off the bat just to get like that hot start. Him, though, no. He waits till the end in a 1v3 situation. Incredible plays to just wrap all the way around. Completely nuts, and we completely missed it, or at least I completely missed it. I was completely clueless.
I was kind of confused. I was like, why is he using overdrive in 1v3? Oh, that's right, because they're on offense. They're on offense.
Oh, my God. And you just know, like, half the people that are watching this, like, half of them were like, man, the casters are completed. And the other half was like, that was amazing. I can't believe that just happened. I didn't realize it either. Of course, though.
Look at that, 15-7 for Fierce. That was absolutely, that was a fantastic job from him. But no, we said search and destroy. We were both wrong. I